Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone to our group assignment video. My name is Muhammad Zulfadli Mahadi and I'm representing my group to present this video about the willingness of local students to teach international students Bahasa Melayu. My group members are Rifqo, Retno and Ismat, and I'm glad to be with here all today. So now let's get started. Before I start, I'd like to share a very quick story about my experience. Even though I'm Malay and I'm from Brunei, so as a student in Malaysia, I feel like it's not very foreign for me as compared to other students, but I still sometimes don't understand some Malay words that are very standard. So because in Brunei we learn everything in English, even though Malay is our first language and English is actually our primary studying and learning language. Alright, so yeah, my friends have been really helpful towards my stay in Malaysia, as they most of them are willing to teach me new words and the meaning, and I feel like that's a very good trait of Malaysians. Alright, so now I'd like to share with everyone our topic today is the willingness of Malaysian students to teach international students Bahasa Melayu, and I will start my discussion. Alright, first of all, I'm going to talk about the importance of Malay language in our everyday life. So, although the university is teaching in English mainly, but some of the lecturers still opted to use Bahasa Melayu to teach, and most of our Malaysian friends use English language to talk with international people like us. But when they're communicating with each other, when Malay and Malay communicating with each other, they are talking in Bahasa Melayu. So we need to learn Bahasa Melayu nevertheless, so that we will not feel left out when talking in groups. Okay, so I will talk about the effect and the essential of Malay language part by part. Alright, if we see Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM's structure, we see that they already teach foreign language such as Malay for start. Beside this, we also see Universiti Malaya UM, Universiti Putra Malaysia UPM, and our own UTM Universiti Teknologi Malaysia is also following the same way. So now the question is, why do every university take this step? What is the purpose to teach international students Bahasa Melayu? And yep, your guess is correct. Because the university also believes that studying Bahasa Melayu helps students, particularly in the present. Okay, sorry. Your guess is right, because the university also believes that studying foreign language helps students, particularly in the present globalization environment where connectivity is enabled. It will help the employability rates of the graduates, as students are willing to compete in both the national and the foreign global markets. Alright.
So now let's move to our results of the survey. So our survey have 9 questions, and a total of 30 respondents have participated in our survey. So our survey are divided into 3 parts. The first part is the demographic. The second part is the whether the local students are willing to teach the international students the Bahasa Melayu, and the third one is the understanding of international students of Bahasa Melayu. Alright, the first question is in the demographic part is the age. So we want to know our age, the age of our respondent. Alright, so the pie chart here suggests that most of our respondents, which is 53.3%, are from 22 years old to 25 years old, while 40% are 18 to 21 years old, and the other remaining is from 26 to 30% age range. So yeah, it is visible that most of our respondents, I think, from ATM students, because we forwarded our survey to our classmates and so on. Alright, the gender, there's not much difference between the gender. It's almost equal. So 53.3% of our respondents are female, or in the numerical figure, that is about 16 out of 30. So the other 14 are male. Alright, so if we move on to the second part of the survey, which is the willingness to teach Bahasa Melayu, out of our 30 respondents, 80% answered yes. Yes, they are willing to teach the international students Bahasa Melayu, while the other 20% opted not to. So 80% is about 24 out of 30. Alright, so the next part is our from our respondents, the international students friends, from where? Alright, so 80% of our respondents friends are from Malaysian neighbor, which is Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei. So I put Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei in one color and in one segment is because they're mainly Malay speaking countries as well. So another one is Indochina. Indochina consists of countries just northern of Malaysia, such as Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, and so on. Alright, and another one is East Asia. East Asia consists of countries which is China, Japan, and Korea. And then there is also South Asia, India, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. Middle East, such as Saudi Arabia, Syria, and so on. Europe, from including the UK, even though they are out of European Union. Europe also consists of countries both from Eastern and Western Europe. Alright, Australia and New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, and then Northern America, which is the USA or Canada and so on, and there is also South America and Caribbean. Alright, so 80% of our respondents answered their friend from Singapore, Indonesia, and Brunei. So we can see here that most of the UTM students, international students, is actually from these countries. Alright, so 3 have friends from the Middle East, 2 from East Asia, and 1 from Northern America. So if you remember the questions before, those who answered no, they will end the survey right here, and those who answered yes, they are willing to teach their friend international students, they will have to answer part 3. Alright, so in part 3, the question is, when you hear your international students speak Bahasa Melayu, how much do you understand them? So 54.2% answered yep, they do understand them, or that is about 13 out of 24 respondents, while 9 of the others said average, and the 2 others said no. No one actually said do not understand. The second question is, why do you think international students need to learn Bahasa Melayu? So 75% of our respondents, which is about 18 out of 24, said it is for them to communicate easier in daily conversation, outside of the classroom, in the shopping mall, and wherever, just to communicate easier for daily conversation. 16.7% said it is to make it easier in doing group assignment. As you all know, UTM have a lot of group assignment, so it is only sensible for the international students to know at least a bit of Malay so they can participate and contribute effectively in the group assignment. One said it is because they do not understand when the international students speak English, and the other one said just for fun. Alright, so moving on to the next question. Why do you think Bahasa Melayu, who do you think will teach Bahasa Melayu better to international students? So we gave them three choices, which are classmates, roommate, and learn by themselves. So 14 out of 24 answered classmate is indeed the best teacher for international students to learn Bahasa Melayu, while 8 said roommate, and 2 said by themselves. I think the Ed likes to tell a bedtime story to the international students' friends in Malay. Alright, so moving on to the next question. Where is the place that we need international students to use Bahasa Melayu the most? So out of 24 respondents, a staggering 83% answered in the classroom, while 2 said in social media and 1 said dormitory and the other one said in daily uses. Alright, so moving on to the next question. What capability is the most important for international students to master? So we gave them 5 choices, which are speaking, listening, writing, reading, and all of the above. So 12 answered speaking and 12 answered all of the above, meaning the 12 said the international students needs to master all of speaking, listening, writing, and reading, while the other 12 they said speaking is already sufficient. Alright, so if we look further in our discussion, we want to look the proportional between the female and the male who said yes, they're willing to teach their Bahasa Melayu, the international students Bahasa Melayu, and those who said no. So out of 30 respondents, 2 out of 14 males said they are unwilling to teach their international students Malay, while 4 out of 16 female respondents not willing to teach Bahasa Melayu to their international students. So 12 each from 12 male and 12 female respectively said yes, they are willing to teach their international students Bahasa Melayu. And if we look further, out of the 6 who said no, 5 of them have friends from Singapore. It's either Singapore, Indonesia, and Brunei, while the other one is from Northern America. Alright, moving on to the next discussion. Okay, so if you remember the first question of part 3, it is indicated that 52.2% said they understand if the international students' friends speak Bahasa Melayu. So I think it's only appropriate for us to look deeper by further classifying the international students' origin. Alright, so from the bar chart here, 12 respondents said they can understand their friends from Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei. They understand well, while 6 students who said their friends are from Singapore, Indonesia, and Brunei said the understanding is average, while 1 said low. Meanwhile, both respondents who have friends from East Asia I want to remind you, East Asia is countries that consist of India and Afghanistan and Bangladesh. And out of the 3 respondents, all of them said that their friends have average understanding of Bahasa Melayu. And out of 3 respondents who have Middle East friends, one said their friends have low understanding, 1 said their friends have average understanding, while the other one said their friends have a good understanding of Bahasa Melayu. Alright, so I think we can have a better results if our respondents are more than 30, maybe at least 100 or in between 100 to 200. But out of the 30 respondents, I think we can conclude that most of UTM students are from either Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei, and I think it's also safe to conclude that most of the people from Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei have good understanding in speaking Bahasa Melayu. So yeah, I think the the number can be better, but this is what we get.
That's all for our group presentation. Thank you for your attention, and hope to see you soon. Take care, and salam Ramadan. Thank you.